Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list of 14 properties, and please drive safe today. The roads are bad outside. Let's start off with this one on Nadlin Heights. It's 1333 square feet end unit, so it's a 3-story home, no backyard, so it backs onto another version of the same home, and then it sides onto another townhouse. Inside, it doesn't have a lot of extra finishes here. Basic carpet. It's weird that they don't show you the kitchen here. There's nothing really besides a few views of the main floor, so it might be a bit tricky for them in terms of marketing. I think they could have probably put some variation in the photos. Anyway, we've seen this size of home sell up in the 370s before. We've also seen them sell for less. There's one on Fowles that's almost the same size, listed at $359, and I know it sold quick, so I don't know if it went over asking, but you could argue on both sides for this price. So if you have the benefit of time, if you don't need to sell something, then my advice might be to, hey, you know what, put it on the high side and see what happens. And we've seen clients in the past that have put it on the high side and even found an even greater result. Now, when you get into the high 370s for the 3 stories, you start coming up against stuff like this on Edwards. So for $10,000 more, you're a little bit smaller at 1130 square feet. However, it has a finished basement, and it also has a true backyard too. So a 2-story versus a 3-story, the 3 stories tend to kind of hit a glass ceiling at some point based on what's going on with the 2 stories. Nice front walkway. There's one big room on this model, and then a kitchen off to the side. There's a kick plate here, which is a handy little thing attached to the central vac. It's easy for you to sweep stuff underneath there, and all the dust and debris, you just suck it up. You just throw a little switch and away it goes. The street's quiet. It's a good location. Hawthorne Village School District. You're not far from Guardian Angels as well. Both schools are very well regarded, so I would say that this one's a winner. Only one full bathroom upstairs. Usually what I recommend, if you only have one full bathroom upstairs, try and finish in the basement. If you're finishing the basement, put a second full bathroom. Makes a big difference. Megston Terrace is $429, and we've seen this model sell even above $430, so I think the price looks good. I don't know if I love the presentation because it looks like a nuclear explosion went off.
Like a hurricane in Duckburg. DuckTales move. Every day they're out there making the danger. Looks behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales move.
But I would say the home, if you go see it, you're going to find that it probably shows better than the pictures. Pettigrew is $429, so I think this home is between about 1,500 and 1,600 square feet. Living, dining in the front, and then you've got your kitchen. I find some of the Matamis for the same price as this one, or even the same size, tend to have a little bit of a better layout. They built these a little more long and narrow, whereas when you have a more open plan, you can start to change the rooms around a bit. Big master bedroom, big ensuite on this one. I don't know if that's a real power shot. Like, really, you're not even, it doesn't show the yard, it's showing a dog, which has nothing to do with the sale of the home. That's a more appropriate photo, I think, if you're trying to demonstrate the feature of the home. So they do have a bathroom, it looks like, downstairs in the basement, just a little 2-piece. So if you're watching a movie, you don't have to go upstairs. So could work out. I think they're certainly in the right range at $429 with a semi, and there's not a lot of semis in that range. We see a lot more higher than this, so they might capture the audience that maybe wants to jump from a town to a semi. This one here on Bustle is an inside town, so this is a good example of how even townhouses are listing higher than that $429. They've done a good job in here in terms of decorating. This room is so narrow, you have to kind of walk through it, and the only option you have is couch here, TV there. That's it. That's every version of this home I've ever seen. That's the only way that they do it. It's a nice, tasteful hardwood. It doesn't really go out of style. put some money in the kitchen. And the bedrooms are a nice size upstairs, of which they show none. So today is really, it's funny, a lot of the pictures and listings don't tell you the whole story. And so I would like to see a shot of the finished basement. It's a 110-foot lot, and so it backs onto train tracks. So you've got a sloping berm to help with the noise a little bit, and that might affect them. There are some homes on Bustle. There's one that just sold that did pretty well, backing onto tracks too. So sometimes the extra lot space can I guess wash out the effects of being close to the train, and kids love it too because in the winter they can just go right down. It's like a little toboggan hill. I wanted to mention something about just going back to Pettigrew. It's got a solar panel on the roof, and one of the things about solar panels, I have clients that ask me, should I do solar panels? I think it's a little bit early. There's a lot of transition in the rules, and I think you've got to sign a pretty long-term lease with them. But it just, there's not enough sales with them to say whether or not they actually add value. And if it's going to affect your roof, I mean, obviously they're going to have to kind of bracket it down. How's the wear and tear on the roof going to be? Might even actually give you some extra years on your roof because you're sheltering a lot of the shingle damage that would occur through weather and through sun. So I don't know. I think that it's early. You're taking a risk by putting it on. And risk can be good or bad depending on how things turn out at the end of the day. But it's a safer option for me to just hold back and wait until it's a little bit more ubiquitous and common. So let's go to the next one, which is on Pickersgill. It's at $490. People like this home because you can do 2 cars side by side in the front. 1,600 square feet. I think it's a Plan 3 from Mattamy. Pretty functional layout here. And there's a loft upstairs with, there's the loft, and then you have 3 bedrooms. It also comes in a 4-bedroom where they close the loft up, but that's tight. 4 bedrooms in 1,600 square feet is not huge, and they've made mention of that in the description too. So 490 seems to be a good range. Last year they were selling around 460. And then very quick, they bumped up to like a 480, 490 range, most of them depending on features and location. But we've had a few that have tried at 515 and just really haven't gone anywhere. So they could be okay at 490. I think we haven't seen many of these sell recently. So Tonelli is 497.7. Nice to see some detached under 500,000. That certainly attracts attention. And so you've got a pretty open concept layout here. They've spent some money in the kitchen. Even though the lighter kitchen cabinets are not always the stuff that really makes buyers sort of stumble over themselves, I think this one's in a good spot. It should attract attention for sure. Deacon is $539. It's a sundial home, so it has a nice 109-foot deep lot. If you go probably 3 or 4 streets away to the Mattamy stuff, you're talking about 80 feet, so substantially larger backyards. And this one has 1 big room here, and then it also just has a kitchen with an eat-in. So that's basically what you're getting with this home. That's your main floor, and then you have 3 bedrooms with a laundry upstairs, and they've also finished the basement. It looks like they've done a nice job here. So all in all, with the yard, with everything it has, hard to find the double garages under 540. The size is a little bit less than what we're seeing their competition have, but that bonus finish basement I think is going to serve them well. I think overall this one gets definitely 2 thumbs up. I think it's got a lot going for it. Fleming is $599. Much more, I would say, cluttered range for a double car garage. And this one looks like it's about 2,200 square feet if it's the model I'm thinking of. And in which case it might be a little bit on the high side, but you'd want to go have a look at it because I'm not 100% sure on that floor plan. Donnelly is $614, so $15,000 more. I would say substantially more upgrades, around the same size of main floor, but this is one of the best homes I've seen this year in terms of appearance and finishes and upgrades. They've done a very nice job. Anything from the transoms above the door, you've got pot lights inside and out. meticulous attention to detail, tasteful colors. There's a loft upstairs, plus you've got 3 bedrooms, and they did a bathroom downstairs. A couple more pot lights up in the deck above, and they even did a good job in the backyard with some patio stones, a deck. It doesn't back onto other homes; it backs onto Louis Saint Laurent, which eventually they're going to build on the other side of Louis Saint Laurent, and you might hear a little bit of that traffic noise, but it does have a certain level of privacy to it that I think some people will like. So a less upgraded but still quite nice home sold, same model as this, for the better part of well over $50,000 less. So really, are the upgrades worth it? There's certainly a lot in here, so that's one of those things the buyer will have to decide, but it looks like a really nice home. You can find bigger homes for this price range, but I don't know if they're going to be looking as good as this. So that's a fun one to be as the third last property. We've got Snyder here at 639, 2047 square feet. You lose this parking spot here, so you really have 3 parking spots, 1, 2, and then 3 in the driveway here. Royal Fern is 2047 square feet. Nice finishes inside, but here's the thing, is that you've got a whole finished basement here that they really haven't showcased. Is a finished basement more important than that? I've got to figure it is. And then you've got the pond behind too, so the stormwater pond. We've seen single car garages around this size. There was one that sold over 6. I don't know if I agree with them actually paying more than 6. Again, there's arguments on both sides, but this would be high for this model. This is definitely, they're competing with homes that have more square footage on the main and upstairs, but there's a lot of nice stuff with this home. And then we've got 6th line here at 749, and we're on about 5 acres. I wouldn't say it's super fancy dressed to impress, but 5 acres, you potentially have an apartment downstairs or an in-law suite. And then we've got Forbes Terrace here. So I believe this is a Cloverdale model, and I think it's like 2,700 square feet. Waffle ceiling in the front, lots of nice upgrades here, and it backs onto a forest. And when Heathwood sold these, they commanded big premiums for the forest. Do you always get it on resale? Not all the time. So nice looking house though, and they've got this covered deck here, covered space in the back. The layout's terrific. One of my favorite floor plans, but I love this because you can even go barbecue in the winter, and obviously having the privacy behind is something that people do pay big money for. So let's see what happens with this one. I mean, typically if you're looking at a Mattamy home that's 2,800 square feet, your high 6s, a little bit of a premium for Heathwood, and then also you've got the forest behind. So that's the list. If you have any questions, give us a call. And solar panels or anything, or if you want to see anything in this list or anything that's for sale, give us a call. Okay, we'll talk to you later.